listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. I'm Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Tuesday. Means we're brought to you by Immense Network, Cloud IT Management, Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spazzali. Back there on the ones and twos. We'll do a lot of our normal Tuesday stuff here. We'll talk to Glenn West in 30 minutes. We'll talk to Sharif Ishak at the bottom of hour number 2, talking Tigers, talking Saints. And obviously, everything that's going on off the field right now is dominating the headlines as we're still in talking season currently. They don't play any meaningful football until this weekend, and then we don't play until the following weekend, so there's still time for us to talk about stuff that doesn't involve scoreboards and championships. It's all about courtrooms at this point, and that's, I guess, where we'll start with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive, presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
Okay, so where did we leave off yesterday, huh? Where did we leave off? Since I got off the air yesterday, LSU has added R.J. Lewis on the basketball side of things, and the football wheels continue to turn. Got a commitment from Zxavian Harris on the football side of things. Everyone is up in arms about all of this, and it adds to the Daquan White storyline. It adds to the Junior Tuihalamaka storyline, and adds to the fuel that is on the fire of the eligibility concerns in collegiate athletics. What I say to you in this segment might sound like flip-flopping back and forth. I don't see it that way. I feel like I've been consistent throughout. I do feel like every case individually is different. Therefore, I look at things for what they are. I look at situations for how they arise. There is a national sentiment that is swelling, that is reaching not just talking heads, not just fans, but administrators, people that can make decisions. And essentially, the thought is, and Greg Sankey's a part of this, and the Big Ten has just had a unanimous vote in favor of this, and there are a lot of people with national platforms that have a talking point on this, but it is if you at any point sign a contract, receive compensation from, dress out for a professional organization in America, you can no longer play in collegiate athletics. That's the line that is emerging most quickly. It's the feeling that is shared within the most people that have the most influence. I told you yesterday that I was okay with Junior Tuihalamaka playing for LSU this year. Played 4 years at Notre Dame, didn't sign with the NFL football team, wants to play a fifth year. Judge says you get a fifth year. Welcome back. I don't see a big problem with that. And I don't think a lot of people have a problem with that one. Now, they got a huge problem with Daquan Wright because he dressed out for the Browns and is going to come back and play for LSU. Huge problem with that. And I said, look, I understand this. He was forced out by the 4-year eligibility rule that's no longer in place. And then the best fallback option for him as someone who was cut by the NFL is to play in a fifth year a judge granted him. I get it. I understand. It's the same way I feel about Zxavian Harris, same way I feel about Jack Pybert if he shows up back in Baton Rouge. Does it feel weird? Yes. Do I think it's going to lead to this massive problem moving forward? I don't think so. I think it's a 1-year deal with these guys who were forced out, and then you come back next year and say, if you ever leave, you can't come back. But the guys that we forced out, we can grandfather back in for a year. Now, I don't feel the same way, and we're going to stay on football, but just so you understand my point, I don't feel the same way about R.J. Lewis. He left on his own volition. Coming back feels wrong to me. I'm not blaming Will Wade. You go make the best team you can possibly make, and if the rule makers say you can do it, whatever. Judge says he can play, whatever. I don't agree with it. I'm okay with the guys who were forced out coming back for 1 year. Now, as I said yesterday, I do not need third-year college players foregoing their fourth and fifth years of eligibility becoming third-round picks in the NFL draft, struggling to make a team in year 2, saying, hey, I got 5 years to play. I know I played for the Jets last year, but I'm playing for Auburn next year because that's going to pay more. No, I do draw a line there. There is a line, and it has nothing to do with my love for LSU. None. R.J. Lewis just got instated to play for LSU. He was the Big East Player of the Year. He's going to be an All-SEC player if he's allowed to play. I'm just telling you what I believe, case in and case out, case-by-case basis. And I don't think LSU is completely overstepping its bounds here and destroying collegiate athletics as we know it. But a lot of people feel that way. And that's really where this conversation goes. You understand now where I believe things should be settled. If we're going to 5 years, great. You want to play 5 years? Great. You want to leave after 3? Great. You want to leave after 4? Great. You want to come back after you leave? No. But the guys that were forced out from the class of 2022, I understand. And look, if there is a ruling that comes down from either the SEC or the Big Ten or the ACC that declares that these players cannot play, I'm not going to throw a fit about that. Sometimes life just stinks for some people, and you missed out on a year of earning power because the courts couldn't figure out, along with the NCAA, who had what years of eligibility remaining. And that just stinks for some of the 2022 guys if it turns out they're not allowed to play. And this is not a done deal, by the way. Yes, they've gotten this injunction. They got the temporary restraining order. That lasts for 10 days, and then they're going to have to get the preliminary injunction. And if they get that, they're likely to play. And there are going to be appeals, and this is not an open and closed deal. Daquan Wright is not a slam dunk to play for LSU this year. R.J. Lewis is not a slam dunk to play for LSU this year. Do they have a really good chance to play? Sure. Is it done? It's not. Because you are seeing now this swell of support to cut this off. And that's where we transition to here. Okay? Everyone's throwing a fit over this on the internet. And the Big Ten got together today and they had a vote unanimously passed. No one can sign a professional contract, come back and play. The ACC has agreed with that. The SEC, we know the administration that Greg Sankey wants that to be the case because right after the R.J. Lewis case was done in Baton Rouge yesterday, he issued a statement saying, hey, college athletes are college athletes, and once you go to professional, you're not coming back through that door. That's what he feels, but the courts disagreed. Now, here's what I'll have to tell you, and I just have to be honest with you. I don't have another way to approach this. I have to be honest. I don't know who makes the rules, and I don't know what the SEC can do to bar players from playing. I don't, because in my head, after what I've watched throughout collegiate athletics for 2 years, I've seen players deemed to be ineligible and then just go sue, and the judge goes, yeah, you're eligible, and then he's back eligible. So I don't know what can be done or what holds up legally that the NCAA and the conferences that belong to it, what they can enforce. I just don't know. But I know that I watched Brendan Sorsby get his eligibility in Lubbock, Texas, and I watched the entire internet lose its brain, and then he was ineligible and told to move on. And let me be very clear. I did not think Brendan Sorsby should be eligible. Why? Because he compromised the competitive integrity of sports. And when you take that away, we no longer have sports. So, yeah, that in that case, get him out. I don't think he should play. I don't think R.J. Lewis has a good case. I didn't think Charles Bediako had a good case. But I think Junior Tuiamaliaka does. I understand where these fifth-year guys that have signed with NFL teams are coming back from. And I, again, do not believe that this is some sort of line we will cross here that will destroy collegiate athletics. I don't. I don't think collegiate athletics will be destroyed if Daquan Wright makes 4 catches for 72 yards against Clemson. I don't. But I'll also sit here and tell you that if in 9 days' time, if next Thursday, it's ruled by the SEC or whoever can make these rules that I don't understand, that are not overridden by a judge 5 minutes later, that you cannot play. You played for the Browns. You played for the Saints. You can't come back and play for LSU. I won't be crying. I will not be crying for LSU. You have a team. You got a roster. Go beat Clemson. And by the same token, I'm not mad at Lane Kiffin for exploring the options. I think what he said on Monday makes sense. Judge said, these guys can play. I'm going to go recruit them. My job is to get a good team to put on the field. And there's a lot of morality police out there that are suggesting that that's just a horrifying thing to explore, that you're selling your soul. And look, LSU's going to wear the black hat in this thing for a long time because everyone dislikes Lane Kiffin and everyone dislikes Will Wade. And do I care? No. Do you care? No. Is it reality? Yeah. I just saw an A&M, and I use beat writer very, very loosely, that had a poll up. Who do you hate more, Texas, LSU, or Iran? So that's where we are on the internet side of this things. A lot of reasonable folks out there. Excellent work. But the fact of the matter is, for me, that every case is different. And until we can put a system in place, I'm okay with exploring the cases as they come. Now, you may suggest, hey, if you let these fifth-year players come back, they're all about to get cut in September, and we're going to have 400 dudes flooding back into the college football ranks in the middle of the season. Yeah, I got you. It's tough. And coaches can say, I'm not taking you. And conferences can say, I'm not taking you. There's no perfect system here. There's no perfect system. But for me, every case is individual. I think if you leave on your own volition, you're gone. And I think if you were in this unlucky class and they're going to grant everybody 1 year on this, well, LSU, line up and go get some players. We're not done here, unfortunately. Very unfortunately, we're not done here. Because you understand that there are going to be more lawsuits, there are going to be appeals, and there are going to be rules that are attempted to put in place. And I think the SEC is probably next there, unless there are multiple presidents, chancellors, athletic directors, and coaches who were speaking with them that push back on it because they want to add players to the football team. Arkansas just picked up a safety, was an All-American at Liberty. It just happened. So is Arkansas going to vote that they want to outlaw all these players? Is LSU going to do that? I don't know. A lot of these guys think I'm just here to win football games. You tell me I got eligible players, I'm going to use them. So it's a mess. There's no question about it. It's a mess. And it's more and more and more of what I've often described as silly. But it's reality right now, and we got to talk about it until they start playing football. Please bring on the football. Our Tuesday show is brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. When we come back, I'm going to do this, okay? RJ Lewis is eligible for now. Will Wade just picked up a 7'3" center from Israel for now. I'm going to tell you about this basketball roster because it's starting to look pretty good. So if we'll just talk hoops, and then we'll get back into football with Glenn West in 15 minutes. The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com. That's FabryChevrolet.com. Fabry family's been at this 35 years, y'all. It's because they provide the people of Baton Rouge with amazing customer experience. Amazing. And you're going to get that every single time. You can start your journey on the website, FabryChevrolet.com. See the entire inventory right there. If you see those 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500s, you know you can get them for 0% APR financing the rest of this week. And that's for 5 years, plus no monthly payments for 90 days. Want a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500, 2.9% APR for 72 months, plus an additional $1,500 in allowance? You can do that until August 31st. You got less than a week. Also, a great selection of pre-owned vehicles that'll fit any budget. Go up and see them, Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Check them out online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Every show brought to you by Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge or online at swingeasygcbr.com. That's swingeasygcbr.com. Get a membership to Swing Easy Golf Club. Give you an opportunity to have a place to call home, to work on your golf game, to have some fun, whether that's on a Friday afternoon or Saturday morning. Maybe it's Saturday night over at Swing Easy Golf Club. It's a great place to become a member. You can also get a corporate membership so you can entertain clients there. It's a great spot. Bring some cold drinks in. It can get you a big old ice chest that you can fill up and play some tunes, comfortable seating area, great couches, and you can play whatever type of game you'd like to play on that golf simulator. You can, again, put the driving range simulation on, or you can tee it up at Pebble Beach. You can play Cypress Point or St. Andrews, play Bethpage Black or TPC Sawgrass, test yourself on the island green. It's a lot of fun. I've always enjoyed my time at Swing Easy. If you haven't been by, just to check it out, I highly recommend you do it. You can be a scratch player. You can be a beginner. It's a great spot for anyone in the golf world. And again, it's not 100 degrees in there, which is a good thing over at Swing Easy Golf Club. It's on Segan at Perkins, swingeasygcbr.com. All right, I'm going to stick with basketball here and not talk about the courtroom. RJ Lewis was granted that injunction yesterday and to this point is eligible. That's where I'm going to stop with the eligibility. If I find out one day he's not eligible, we'll talk about that he's not eligible. But right now he is, so that's what I'm going to start this conversation with this basketball roster, which is starting to take shape. And keep in mind, there are some real question marks with the eligibility of the European players to this point. So I'll start with the guys that we know right now, today, are going to be with LSU. And it's a very, very strong foundation, I believe, especially in the backcourt and on the wings. We talked about Donovan Dent yesterday. Donovan Dent is one of the more talented point guards in college basketball. He's played a ton. He's a massive assist guy, has the ability to average 7-8 assists a game. He was third in the nation in assists last year, can really distribute. And now you've got players to space the floor and score around Donovan Dent, who is an excellent assist man. Sky Clark played with Dent last year. He averaged almost 12 points per game at UCLA. He shot 43% from three-point range at UCLA. You bring in RJ Lewis, who averaged 18.2 points per game at St. John's as the Big East Player of the Year 2 years ago. He is 6'7". He can absolutely put the ball on the floor. He can attack the rim. He finishes in traffic. He can knock down mid-range jump shots. He's a really, really accomplished offensive player. You look at Abdi Bashir, also on the ring. That's a guy who shot 44.4%, a tick away from 45% from three-point range last year at Kansas State. So you talk about lethal shooters in Sky Clark and Abdi Bashir on the wings, all the while having having RJ Lewis, who is a nearly 20-point per game scorer in Big East play. That is really difficult to guard. That's 4 different guys, all with some pretty good length, all with 22, 23, 24 years old, who can really play. And then you go to the guys on the wing that you know can defend. And that's Mo Diabate, who's a Kentucky transfer, who is a really good defender and a positive rebounder, was a 9-point per game, 5.5 rebound guy, 2 steals, 2 blocks, really, really active and aggressive on the wing. You love him as a potential defender. You bring in Divine Ugachukwu, who was at Michigan State last year, shot the ball very, very well last year, has played at Miami and Michigan State, is a capable backup guard, a really good backup guard that you would feel good about giving you 10, 12, 15 minutes in an SEC game. He will be part of this team as well. And then you've got Austin Nunez, the UTSA transfer, who is a reserve piece for this team as well. That is the nuts and bolts of your team. Donovan Dent at the point, Sky Clark at the 2, RJ Lewis, Abdi Bashir, and Mo Diabate on the wing, Ugachukwu on the wing, Nunez as a backup guard. That's 7 guys. Yes, they're in. No eligibility concerns except for Lewis. That's the group that you feel good about right now. And then you got the names that we've talked about, but we don't have any clarity on. And a lot of that is of European influence. Like Saliu Niang would come in and be a dynamite defender, elite athlete, above the rim player, awesome finisher who is great playing off the ball and would be great playing with guys like Donovan Dent and RJ Lewis who can really drive and can really distribute. He's not a great shooter. He's not a great shot creator, but in space, he's a dynamo athlete that would be awesome. And I know that he has spent time in Baton Rouge this summer and that they're planning to get him eligible, but that hasn't happened to this point publicly. And then you've got to get to the front court where LSU just does not have the requisite numbers officially. Like every single front court player they have is in some sort of eligibility concern. I think their best chance to get one eligible is Michael Ruzick. He's 19, 20 years old. He played just a couple of years professionally as an 18-year-old. Has not made an astronomical amount of money, is not super old. I think they got a decent chance to get him eligible. Marcio Santos is 24. He's played, he's Brazilian. He's played in Israel. He's played professionally for 4 or 5 years. There's significant concern whether or not he will be on this roster. Like, he would be great. He's a really talented player. He can shoot the 3 very well as a stretch big. He's big enough and obviously at 24, 25 years old, physical enough to go down there and play with the college game. Like, he would be good. There's significant concern whether or not he can get eligible. And then you've got today's news where LSU got a commitment that I've confirmed from, help me out, not sure, he's Israeli, Gilad Levy, whatever. He's 7'3". That's what you need to know about Levy. He's 7'3", and he's 24 years old. He's played 4 years of basketball in Israel and Spain. He's not played a ton. Like, it's not some like all-star from over there. In fact, he played 18 games in the 2024-2025 season, and he only averaged 5.5 minutes per game. He scored 1.5 points, blocked 21 shots in 18 games. He's played 51 professional games, but he's 24 years old, and he's played a lot of professional basketball. I don't know if he's eligible or not, but they've got him signed, and he's committed to come to LSU. If LSU can put together a front court class that has 3 of the 4 guys I'm telling you about, Michael Ruzick, Marcio Santos, Bryce Desert, who we didn't get into, and then today's edition, which is Gilad Levy. If they get 3 of those 4, this is a team that can compete at the top of the SEC, that can be a top 5 team in the SEC. I think. I don't know every team in the SEC, but that's UCLA's starting backcourt from last year, or a 24-win team. It's the former Big East Player of the Year. It's a starter from Kentucky in Mo Diabate, who did not start the entire season, but certainly did start for Kentucky last year. You're talking about a starter from Kansas State who shot 44% from three, a starter from Michigan State who was a 44% three-point shooter, some 23, 24-year-old European professional bigs. Like, say what you will about the way this roster's been put together, the rules and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to talk about that today. But not with basketball when they don't tip off until the first week in November. I'm just talking about what this looks like on the floor if it's on the floor. And if this team is on the floor, it's good. It's really good offensively in the backcourt, really tough to guard, plenty of shooters, plenty of drivers, plenty of grown men with tons of experience. And in the post, you're talking about some old guys that have some skills, that have played high-level professional basketball in Europe. It's a very, very, very capable roster if it comes together. Now, here's the deal with Will Wade. He is going to always have a plan. And you may not like the plan. You may love the plan, LSU fan. Everybody else may not like the plan. Jeff Goodman's tweeting out yesterday how bad Will Wade is for college basketball. Whatever. That's not my role. I told you this. I don't love the 25-year-olds from Europe coming over, and I don't love guys who give up their basketball college career to move on and then come back. But Will Wade scoured the country and then the globe to put this together, okay? And what you have in Baton Rouge right now is a group of coaches that are not going to be first on everyone's Christmas card list, all right? It's just the way it is. But if you're an LSU fan and you want wins and you want high-level play and you want competing for championships at the top of the SEC and into the postseason, you've got a football coach right now who is willing to fly to Knoxville to go get his quarterback who's left and is visiting another school, to fly to Atlanta to talk to Jordan Seaton to get him in, to lay the groundwork to get players that may be eligible by a court order from Cleveland in the preseason. You've got a basketball coach that is willing to go to Europe and find players to put on his roster, that is willing and had the foresight to know this 5-for-5 thing was coming and put this together. And you've got a baseball coach that recruits as ridiculously hard as anybody in the game. Did you see the portal class from this year? Your women's basketball coach just went to Russia and got a player. And we're going to talk about that at the end of the hour because we honestly know what was the result of that. But the effort and the intensity at LSU to put together the best team possible under the current guidelines, and I wouldn't even call them rules, it's a group of hustlers. It is a group of hustlers. And LSU will wear the black hat, and no one is looking at LSU favorably right now. But to me, this is not like Will Wade getting caught on an FBI wiretap. This is not like a cheating scandal. This is not like the basketball program getting put on probation. This is a system in flux and coaches that are willing to go the extra mile to put players on the field, on the court. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but you would have a hard time arguing that LSU hasn't assembled a group of coaches that are fiercely competitive when it comes to roster building. And you can sign me up for that because I have seen these programs, all of them, over my time following LSU sports, where the effort in recruiting was not there. I've seen it in football. I've seen it in basketball. I've seen it in baseball. And that's not a lot of fun. It's really fun when you got coaches that are willing to do what it takes. And right now, these are. So this is a good basketball team on paper, but it is very much on paper right this very second. We'll talk some Tigers with Glenn West when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. FABT.com is the website. That's FABT.com. 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. Means there's always one near you. They've been growing and growing and growing and serving their communities for 116 years. If you do something for 116 years, it stands to reason you're doing it right. And so you know if you bank with First American Bank and Trust, when there's a decision to be made on your personal loan or on your commercial loan, it's made in Southeast Louisiana. You know when you've got a question or an issue that arises with your bank and you call First American Bank and Trust, you get someone in Southeast Louisiana. You know you can stop in that day if you're in Southeast Louisiana. If you've got to make a phone call out to San Francisco to get to your bank, how good's that customer service going to be? It's never an issue at First American Bank and Trust. 116 years serving Southeast Louisiana, 25 locations. Stop by one today and check them out online at fabt.com.
Every Raising Cane's chicken finger is marinated, battered by hand, and cooked to order to perfection. We don't have heat lamps, because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
People ask why I chose to partner with Parrish. The answer is simple: trust. Whether you're choosing teammates, business partners, or the people working on your home or business, choose a company you know and trust. Visit parrishbuilt.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new Ram 1500 truck on our lot now with $22,000 off MSRP.
Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
When a capital project moves from planning to execution, downtime isn't an option. Who do you trust to deliver? River Parish Contractors has more than 500 employees, dedicated safety, quality, and project management teams, and 9 full-time estimators backed by a 36,000 square foot automated pipe and structural.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Tuesday shows every single week brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. They're online at immense.net, immense.net. Every Tuesday we talk to Glenn West, who's with the Bengal Tiger, part of the team over there on threes. Joins us now on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Glenn, what do you want to talk about? What are you writing about? Anything interesting?
Yeah, there really hasn't been much to talk about since the last week, right? Not much. They haven't really been keeping us busy. I'm just ready to get to Clemson.
It'll get here one way or another. I just don't know what we'll have to jump, what hoops we'll have to jump through to get there. What is gaining the most traction for y'all right now on the message board? Is it the court cases? Is it Clemson? Is it basketball? Like what's driving the conversation over there at the Bengal Tiger?
Yeah, I would definitely say the court cases and just the new players and all the ambiguity that seems to be up in the air right now on whether or not this can get through the finish line. I mean, I feel like we've been talking about this for months because we've been dealing with it for basketball, but now for it to be, kind of flipped on its head here 2 weeks before the football season, I can't say, 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago that I expected this to be kind of the overwhelming conversation right before the start of the season. But look, LSU is taking the approach. Lane Kiffin's told us yesterday, like these new guys are eligible. These guys that they want to recruit, and they are going to go out there and try to make this team better. And they've gotten 3 of them so far with Tua Halamaka, the edge, and then, of course, Daquan Wright, the tight end, and now most recently here Zxavian Harris, the defensive tackle. And all 3 of those guys fill positions of need, and I think could help this team eventually whenever they can get cleared and get on campus and get into their systems and whatnot. But it seems like there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen between now and then.
Yeah, based on circumstance, which of the 3 do you think is the biggest or most immediate impact?
I would say Zxavian Harris, to be quite honest with you. I think defensive tackle, I think they love the young talent that's in there between Juice Geralds and Richard Anderson and, some of the depth that they brought in this year as well. But Harris is just, he's an all SEC caliber player if he comes in and is able to perform much like he did last year at Ole Miss. And I think he's somebody that you instantly plug and play to that interior defensive line and makes LSU's ceiling much, much higher in that room, and probably makes that defense's ceiling a lot higher too. And so I would probably lean Harris as the guy that would come in and make the most instant impact. But look, I mean, Daquan Wright is also a really, really talented tight end at the college level and has shown that in this system and in this scheme. So I think really either one of those 2 could come in and make a really instant impact with this program.
Where do you think Junior Tua Halamaka would slot in on the depth chart here, knowing what you know and understanding that there are a couple guys that aren't with the team right now?
Yeah, it's tough to figure out because he's the one player here that is kind of on the outside coming in. These other guys at least have some familiarity with Lane Kiffin. They have some familiarity with the system to some degree. I think Tua Halamaka hasn't been with an NFL team. He hadn't been with the college team since he probably left Notre Dame's campus back in January or February. So he's probably been working out on his own. You got to get him in and see what his conditioning is like. And so I think the ramp up process for him would probably be a little bit more, longer. But, I think if you can get him in as quickly as possible, and if he has this injunction case, which is going to be heard next Monday on the 31st for all these guys, and they all get cleared to play, I would imagine he's somebody that can help you, week 3 hopefully against Ole Miss, week 4 against Texas A&M, because one of the strengths that he has as a player is kind of being a run stopper at that edge position. And so that would certainly help if you're playing Trinidad Chambliss, Kejuan Lacey, and Marcel Reed.
No question about that. Let's quickly pivot to R.J. Lewis, and then we'll finish with football. What's your feeling on that ruling, the impact it could have on an LSU, and just how likely it is that he plays for LSU this year?
Yeah, I'm still approaching this with guarded optimism. Like, this was a logical next step here for LSU, that they were going to get this injunction here on Monday, and then you're going to have to just wait for the appeals process to play out with the NCAA. And so I think we might have talked about it a little bit last week, but I do think the next step here is going to be the NCAA has a couple weeks to respond to this. They have a chance to appeal, and I think that appeal will be heard before the start of the college basketball season. So we'll know before the start of the season whether or not Luis is going to be a part of this team going forward. But for right now, Will Wade and those guys can at least hold their head up high that they got to this step, and that he's at least right now, if LSU had to play a game tomorrow, he's eligible. But he would be a massive piece to this thing. He would insert into your starting 5 immediately, be one of your best scorers, probably be one of the best scorers in the SEC. But I again, I'm approaching this with guarded optimism because I'm not sure how likely it is that we get to November, December, and that he's playing on this team. So we'll see.
A lot of pushback on the World Wide Web after that ruling yesterday, including some from the Southeastern Conference Commissioner. So we'll certainly see. As we transition back to football to kind of wrap our conversation up here, Lane Kiffin was asked on Monday about having a number 1 wide receiver, and the first words out of his mouth was, "We're still working on that." Essentially, he's kind of saying we're just evaluating the group as a whole. Do you have a couple of guys that come to the forefront for you as guys that you expect to see more often than others?
Yeah, I would still say probably Jackson Harris is going to be in that mix. I would say Eugene Wilson has made a real big push here in the offseason and particularly in fall camp. I think he's going to be very much involved in this passing offense from week one. I think Winston Watkins and Jace Brown are maybe the other two that you see here, kind of that core four group that I think can play for you at wide receiver. But I do think it's probably going to be a little bit about, who LSU has, who has the hot hand on the particular week. Like, I don't know that any of these guys are going to be like your clear-cut number one or clear-cut number two. I think they all are going to have their opportunities here earlier in the season to kind of help define those roles. But I do think that those four will contribute a lot. I think Trey'Dez Green will be used as a wide receiver a ton as well, and so that would certainly help. If LSU can get Daquan Wright in here in the next couple weeks too, he can kind of slide in as that kind of every down tight end, and you can do whatever the heck you want with Trey'Dez from that point.
I know that you've seen as much as the team as I have, so and I'm basing this off the question that I'm asked quite often is how's Levitt look? And I go, well, I don't see a lot, but y'all are talking to people. You've got scrimmage reports. We've seen some practice. Like, what's your anticipation for Levitt, big picture? Is he a guy that's going to be competing to be an all-SEC quarterback? Is he a guy that you still think is coming back from injury or has to get acclimated to the system? Like, what's your Levitt read?
I think he's, I know he's 100% healthy and he's moving around great. And then, everybody that we hear and talk to within the program says he's doing all the right things and is moving around with no limitations. And so that's a really good sign, right? And you really want to see that right from the get-go here of the 2026 season. I just want to see what he looks like in a game setting, though. I mean, we just have not seen him in these practices go very. I mean, we get the 10 minutes there for throwing against air. And so I think from a running perspective, he will be a game changer for this team. I just want to see how the passing looks, in these first couple weeks against Clemson, Louisiana Tech, and then on the road at Ole Miss. Like, I want to get a little bit of a sample size here before we start throwing out any kind of, big time, all SEC, all American type seasons. I think he has that kind of game. He has that kind of potential, but you'd like to see it a little bit here first at the beginning of the season.
All right, Glenn, I'll let you go. We will catch up next week, and we'll have LSU Clemson to talk about.
I hope so.
Yeah, well,
right, thanks, man.
We'll see. That's Glenn West, senior writer over there at On 3, part of the team with the Bengal Tiger. He and Shay Dixon, that whole crew over there, do an awesome job. We appreciate him being with us on these Tuesdays. So I want to remind you about Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Online at boudreauxelectrical.com. That's boudreauxelectrical.com. Looking for that Generac home standby generator? Look no further than my friends at Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Neil and Melissa have been running the show for 40 years there. They know how to service the good people of South Louisiana when it comes to those Generac home standby generators. Give them a call, 985-397-1562. Again, that's 985-397-1562. Or you can call the Gonzales location, 225-300-9389. Looking to give yourself the peace of mind to know that when that storm blows through, like it did yesterday and a lot of folks lost power, you're not going to. When that hurricane blows through, you're not going to lose power. Even if you evacuate, you want to come back to an air-conditioned house that has lights and a fridge that's stocked and not have to throw everything out. We've all been there. Evacuate, power's out, come back, hot, dark, throw everything out of the fridge and freezer. You don't have to do that. Get that Generac home standby generator from my friends at Boudreaux's Electrical Services. They're online at boudreauxelectrical.com. Also remind you that tonight we'll have our sports trivia every single Tuesday. They're at Court to Table. Very much looking forward to that. You can come find us at 8 o'clock. You can stop by tonight with a team. You can stop by yourself. Come to Court to Table. We'll be going sports trivia from about 8 o'clock to about 9:15, so not all hours of the night. And you can win gift cards, eat their great food, great drinks as well. So always enjoy our Tuesday nights over at Court to Table at 8 o'clock. I know that the Skip Burtman Memorial Service is opening up the doors at 6 o'clock tonight, so you can get on by the PMAC for free and celebrate Skip's life there, absolutely. And if you want to stop by for a late dinner after those festivities conclude, we'd love to have you at Court to Table. Always appreciate that. And I always appreciate y'all for coming out on Tuesdays. We still got plenty to get to over the course of this show. Sharif Ishak's going to be with us in 45 minutes. Yesterday, we didn't really get to the Deion Jones move that brought a running back in for New Orleans, so we'll get into that at the top of hour number 2. We'll also get back into some LSU football, some stuff on the field. I wrote about the wide receivers earlier today with a quote from Lane Kiffin from yesterday, and want to get a little bit deeper into that, so we'll do that in hour number 2. So hope your work week's off to a good start. Our Tuesday show is brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. We'll step aside. When we come back, some moving pieces with LSU women's basketball, and I get it. We'll talk about it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Marucci brings you our shows each and every day. Get you a membership over there to the Hitter's House at Marucci. Why would you get a membership to the Hitter's House at Marucci? Well, because 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can have access to their awesome facility. So if you've got a youth baseball or softball player that wants to make sure his or her game is staying sharp throughout the fall into the winter months, no better place to do that than at Marucci. You can stop by after school, stop by on Saturday morning, stop by Saturday evening. The Hitter's House is open for you, and you can use your membership capabilities to go in there and work on your game. You can also take a tour and learn where the official bat of Major League Baseball is made. 1,200 of them every single day sent to the best players in the world. It's all right there at Marucci. Check them out online at maruccisports.com.
When a capital project moves from planning to execution, downtime isn't an option. Who do you trust to deliver? River Parish Contractors has more than 500 employees, dedicated safety, quality, and project management teams, and 9 full-time estimators backed by a 36,000 square foot automated pipe and structural steel fabrication facility. We can deliver multi-million-dollar industrial construction projects on time and safely, locally owned and headquartered in South Louisiana. We're River Parish Contractors, and we're built for bigger challenges.
Bayou Ford has 0% APR with no payments for 90 days and $1,000 down payment assistance on select 2026 Ford models.
Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
People think it's all about game day. Let's go! But the real work happens in the off season.
Spring practices, early lifts,
Extra reps. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
So we can do what we do best.
We trust the lake.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
Lockmere to Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lockmere to Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning, and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals, and...
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Immense Networks Cloud IT Management brings you our Tuesday shows each and every week. They're a managed service provider that's essentially a full IT department that works for you without being on your payroll. Instead of calling someone when something breaks, which is kind of the way we think about IT, right? They're watching your systems before anything goes wrong. You pay one flat monthly cost, and that replaces those unpredictable repair bills that you always come across when it comes to IT, those surprise emergencies. No, those are not going to cost you anything extra. You're going to have that baked in with your deal with Immense. And they've been doing it for a long time in Baton Rouge, over 2 decades, not a national call center. They're local, and they know this market. So if you're a business, 50 to 100 people, that's kind of the sweet spot for Immense to come in. They can monitor your systems 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, aid your current IT department, and make sure that your cybersecurity is where it needs to be and that your network is up and running so that you can handle your business and Immense can handle the network that runs it. It's all there at immense.net. Immense networks, cloud IT management online at immense.net. All right, complicated story here as LSU women's basketball picks up a player this month and now yesterday loses one. If you missed this story back on August the 14th, Russian post player Anna Mineva signed with LSU. 17 years old, 6'5", Russian post player that Kim Mulkey brings in. The quote in the release said, "I'm thrilled to welcome Anna to our family. She's got the experience, skill set, and size to make an immediate impact in our front court. It takes tremendous courage to leave home at 17 years old and travel across the world to pursue a dream. I'm excited to support and guide Anna as she begins the next chapter at LSU." So that was 11 days ago. And yesterday, we find out that a current member of LSU's women's basketball program, Kate Koval, has decided to leave the program. And you think about this time of year, the transfer portal is not open. You leave the program now, you don't have anywhere to go. So it's a very, very difficult decision for Kate Koval to make, and one that surprised me just to read it, not understanding the situation. And this has not been reported publicly or not confirmed by LSU, but certainly a lot of folks who cover the women's basketball program have written to the extent that Koval, who is from Ukraine, whose father is in the Ukrainian military, may not be really excited to welcome in a Russian-born player from Russia to the program. This is one of those, I don't really get a vote. I don't have a strong vote here, but if Kate Koval, who has roots in Europe and whose dad is across the world fighting a war, doesn't feel comfortable being here because someone who's from the opposition is in her locker room, that's her prerogative. I cannot, under any circumstance, fault her for that at all. I cannot put myself in those shoes. Cannot. It's just not something here in the United States that we have dealt with. And so it's a shakeup for the women's basketball team, no question about it. And right now, that's all it is. It's not as if, I'll stop short of that just to suggest right now this is just a personal feeling. And I cannot blame Kate Koval for that at all. I'm not savvy enough to break down Anna Mineva's game as a 17-year-old Russian and determine what she brings versus what Kate Koval leaving means for LSU. I do know that Koval was somebody that LSU was excited to get from Notre Dame. I do know that last year she averaged 8.3 points, shot 56% for LSU. She started 17 games, came off the bench in another 18, and was certainly a rotational piece for a good LSU team. And a year older, moving into her junior year, I would imagine would have been a fixture in the post for LSU. And I don't know whether or not this young freshman who's coming over is going to be able to fill those shoes, fall short of that, or be better. But the point is that there are some that feel like Kate Koval is stepping out of bounds here, and like, why would you abandon your team? Like, I'm not even going anywhere near that. If you feel like, based on the conflict that's going on that involves your father, and you feel like it's not as important, the basketball side of this is not nearly as important as that to you personally, and you want to step out, that works for me. It's a very, very delicate situation, and I can't claim to understand every aspect of it. I can respect it, no question. And to the point that we made previously in this hour, like, Kim Mulkey's got a job to help LSU women's basketball win as many games as possible. And it's certainly not against the rules to go get a 17-year-old Russian player to come in and bolster your front court. But you do have to weigh what that means to your locker room and all the players that are in it. And in the statement released, Kim Mulkey said she had numerous conversations with Kate Koval about this, and she completely respects where Koval's coming from. And that's the decision that's been made. So LSU will move forward with Anna Maneva and without Kate Koval. And I don't know what this means for Kate Koval in 26, 27. I know that she's a young person and that even if she doesn't play this year, we'll have 2 more years to play college basketball, and you'd imagine those will not be at LSU. And that's an unfortunate circumstance for the women's basketball program for Koval, who we believe loved LSU. That's what it says in the release. But if this is the way she feels about it, I completely respect that. And that's just a very, very tough situation to deal with. So just a bit of news there from LSU women's basketball as Anna Maneva in. Kate Koval says that means I'm out. So that's it for hour number 1 here on a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Started things up talking about all the massive upheaval with LSU taking former professionals and putting them on their baseball and their football and basketball teams. I also just talked about the LSU men's basketball roster, which from a backcourt perspective looks phenomenal. We'll see what they do in the front court. Also chatted with Glenn West. You can catch that at Hunt on LSU. Hour 2 is going to be busy. We'll start with some Saints talk. We'll get Sharif Ishak coming up in 35 minutes as well. Let's pause for national headlines and Sports Center. Back with hour number 2 of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They're online at FabryChevrolet.com. That's FabryChevrolet.com. Awesome, awesome deals on those trucks at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. So get on by and see them. 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500s. 0% APR financing for 5 years plus no monthly payments for 90 days. You can get that for another, let me do the math, 6 days. So get on by and do it. 2026 GMC Sierra 1500s at 2.9% APR financing for 72 months plus an additional $1,500 in allowance. Now until August 31st. That is, you got it, 6 days. Get on by and see them. Plus, great selection of pre-owned vehicles that can meet any price point that you're looking for. All you got to do is go to the website and search by price. You can search by mileage as well. You can search by make and model. Every car that's on the lot at Fabry Chevrolet GMC is online at FabryChevrolet.com. Get by and see them. Highway 61 in St. Francisville, or check them out online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Ever wonder why cane sauce doesn't come in a pre-sealed packet? It's because it's made fresh inside every Raising Cane's every single day. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new Ram 1500 truck on our lot now with $22,000 off MSRP.
Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When a capital project moves from planning to execution, downtime isn't an option. Who do you trust to deliver? River Parish Contractors has more than 500 employees, dedicated safety, quality, and project management teams, and 9 full-time estimators backed by a 36,000 square foot automated pipe and structural steel fabrication facility. We can deliver multi-million-dollar industrial construction projects on time and safely, locally owned and headquartered in South Louisiana. We're River Parish Contractors, and we're built for bigger challenges.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
If your office is experiencing performance performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files? Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. ESPN College Football Insider Pete Thamels reporting Big Ten athletic directors unanimously approved a rule that stops players returning from the NFL from playing for one of its schools. This comes in the wake of two NFL players parting with their respective teams to join LSU's roster, an SEC school. They're returning thanks to a court order allowing athletes an unexpected fifth year of eligibility if they terminate their pro contracts and repay any pro earnings. ESPN football analyst Booger McFarland.
I like what the Big Ten did because they came out and made a stand, and I think we were all waiting for the SEC to make a stand. The SEC basically said, hey, we don't like it. Pro guys shouldn't be in college, which I think we all agree. We all agree that pro players shouldn't be playing college football.
Big Ten's faculty athletic representatives still need to vote in favor of the proposal to formally establish it as a conference rule. The NCAA reduced the suspension of Tennessee linebacker Arian Carter for accepting a $427 flight from an agent after he declared from the NFL draft from 2 games to 1, so he does remain suspended for the September 5th season opener.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Wednesday, we continue to get ready for the 2026 season as we go 2-a-days with the Cincinnati Bengals. Has Joe Burrow finally run out of excuses? We'll discuss it on Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. Sharif Ishak in 30 minutes, talking Saints. We'll get to some LSU talk in 15 minutes. Spent the whole first hour talking Tigers, and we'll get back to it again in 15 minutes, but a little bit more time on the Saints today. I want to start with the story today that I didn't get to yesterday because there's only so much show, and I got multiple sports in courtrooms. I got a preseason game. I've got recruiting wins. I've got all kinds of stuff going on. And yesterday I just didn't have time to get to this story. So I realize this is not breaking news, but I would like to talk about it. So we're going to spend some time on it right now. And it's the Saints backfield. We know that injuries are stacking up at the running back position. Kamara got hurt. He's missing a month. Devin Neal's been banged up all camp long. We've seen Ulrich Estime now go down, and he's going to miss some time. And we know that you can't count on Kendre Miller to be around too long. He missed time early in camp and finally has come back. But you're really low on numbers. If you're talking about guys who are legitimate threats to make the roster, you've got HN that's healthy. Right now, Kendre that's healthy. That's 2. And then you got Kamara, Neal, and Estime that are hurt. Now, if you have all of those guys healthy, and none of them are on IR, and none of them are guys that are going to be out for 8-10 weeks, if you have all those guys healthy, that's a fine backfield. You've got a proven 1,000-yard rusher in ATN. You got a consummate pro in Kamara that can do some different things. You got a real young talent in Kendre Miller. You've got Ulrich Estime who showed you some things in camp. Like, that's enough at running back if they're healthy, but they're not. You only got 2 healthy. That ain't enough. So the Saints wisely went out and made a move over the weekend, and unfortunately for the LSU fans and New Orleans natives around here, they moved Deion Jones about 5 minutes after he got into town. Brought in Deion Jones into the linebacker room, got him in. All you knew he wasn't necessarily a shoe-in to start or anything. He brought him into what was kind of a crowded room at running back, but proven veteran, New Orleans guy, brought him in, and then he traded him out. He traded him out, and they make that trade for Zamir White, who spent his time in the NFL for 4 years with the Las Vegas Raiders. And so you bring in White, not as a feature back, not even as a number 2 back. Right now, I think Zamir White is your third back based on who's healthy. But he does have extensive NFL experience. He's got 4 years under his belt, played in 45 games, only 14 the last 2 years, but he's played in 45 games. He started 9 games. He's run for 740 yards and a pair of touchdowns in his time with the Raiders. Obviously, you're talking about a guy who has played with a bad team. I don't have another way to suggest it. He's played with a bad team over the course of those 2 years, the last 2 years, 4 total, and you're not going to put up huge rushing totals when you're playing with a bad team. But he's a pro, and he's not old. You're talking about a guy who will play this season at age 26 into 27. So he's at the back end of his prime, has 4 years under his belt, has not been overused, only 198 carries, and it's just an insurance policy. This is not a move that greatly impacts the course of this season for the Saints. Here's how you want this to go. You bring in White. You put Hn in bubble tape for 2 weeks. Don't play him at all in the preseason finale. Take it easy in practice. No joint practice. No, none of that. Take it easy. Make sure he's healthy. That's your lead back. If Kendre Miller is healthy, he's your number 2. That's great. Zamir White, plug him in at number 3. We anticipate right now that Alvin Kamara will be ready relatively close to the first game of the season. Kamara was in this system last year. He has an understanding of what it takes to get ready for an NFL football game. He will not need a significant ramp up once he is cleared to play. He will not need a lot of practice time. He doesn't need training camp reps. He doesn't need preseason reps. He will be ready to go to slide into that number 2 or 3 role when he is cleared to play, not when he gets up to speed or gets into shape. And so that, you figure, is somewhere in the neighborhood of week 2. Is it week 1? Maybe. Is it week 3? Maybe. But somewhere in the neighborhood of that right there. And I don't think that Devin Neal is too far beyond that. Doesn't sound like Estime is quick to come back, but you never know. But ideally, H's your lead guy. Kendre's your number 2 until Kamara comes back. Those are your top 3. Zamir White is your insurance policy, and you wait for Neal and Estime to get healthy, and then you're okay. You can't take 2 more injuries on, but that's the case at basically every position that you've got. This was just a CYA move by the Saints to make sure you have your numbers properly. And the good news is that although, yes, Kamara is hurt, yes, Neal is hurt, yes, Estime is hurt, yes, Miller is often hurt, your starting tailback is okay. So that's the guy that's going to be out there the majority of the time anyway. All these chairs that we're moving around here, all these deck chairs that are being nicely rearranged, and then we're moving that one out, we're putting this one in, all that movement is on the depth chart. All that movement is down the totem pole. All that movement is who's giving the extra 6-8 runs in a game, who's getting the extra 1 or 2 carries, it's 9 touches. How do we properly distribute those? And guess what? Let me phrase it this way. If the Saints go into that opener in Detroit, I realize this is an impossibility, but just work with me on the hypothetical just to paint the picture of the depth chart. If the Saints go into the game against Detroit in 3 weeks, and you promise me that Hn and Kendre are healthy, and they're going to play the whole game, that would be enough. That would be a talented enough duo to do the things you need to do offensively. Those are NFL backs, unquestionably, in terms of talent. Kendre Miller's an NFL back. He's just never healthy. And those 2 guys could do it. And if Zamir White is the guy you pack on the bus to be your 3rd guy, fine. He's a 5th-year player. Yeah, sure, that's great. and just wait for Kamara to come back. And whether he's the 2 or the 3, doesn't really matter. And hopefully that's week 2 and you're in good shape. Now, I know when I give you that hypothetical that I can't promise you that one of those running backs doesn't get hurt on the first drive. It's football. It happens. It's happened to all the Saints running backs thus far this camp. So I get it. But I was just speaking in that instance based on the talent level that you have healthy, which is good enough. The depth is not, and that's why Zxavian White has to come in. Hopefully all these guys get rested and get back into game shape pretty quickly and can help you out. It's a little bit of a dire spot right now, but credit to New Orleans and the front office for finding a guy that's been a starter at different times in the NFL to come in and be a third back for a very, very reasonable price coming back. Deion Jones was not going to be a starting player for you. Deion Jones was coming in as an insurance policy. If you lose Werner, if you lose, the guy you brought in Caden Ellis, significant contract. You feel like Stutzman's on the way, moving in. You've had some guys at linebacker play pretty well, and Deion Jones is just coming in to add a little depth there. So you subtract a little bit of depth from a linebacker spot where you do have that depth, and you add what you need at running back until these guys can get better. Again, none of these guys is got a torn ACL. None of these guys has a broken foot. Like, these guys are dealing with soft tissue stuff that should be rectified early on in the season, and you'll start to get them back in time. Injuries are going to happen. You've got to insure against them. You've got to make sure you're always on your toes. You've got to always be able to pivot and add guys in, and the Saints have just had some crummy luck dealing with the running back position for the last 3 weeks. But they're in a decent spot with the addition of Zxavian White, assuming that 3 weeks from now, 1 or 2 of these guys is about ready to go. So that's a look at LSU at the Saints running back spot right now. Got some reinforcements, which is a good thing for Mickey Loomis and New Orleans. We'll check in with Sharif Ishak coming up in about 20 minutes to continue our Saints discussion here on this Tuesday. Our Tuesday show is brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. Step aside, come back with more. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
GoTro's Outdoor Power, GoTrosOnline.com. That's GoTrosOnline.com. Love chatting with my guy, Gant GoTro. They've always got awesome deals going on at GoTro's Outdoor Power. And right now, the summer clearance sale is still going on because it's still August. So if you want to get by and get up to $1,000 off select Gravely, Skag, and Hustler zero turns, get on by GoTro's Outdoor Power. 0% financing is available as well. That grass is growing like crazy. It did finally rain back yesterday. So today might not be the best day to cut that grass, but rest assured, it's growing. Need a new zero-turn mower. Get on by up to $1,000 off select Gravely, Skag, and Hustler zero turns, plus 0% financing is available. You know GoTro's National Hustler of the Dealer of the Year 2 of the last 3 years. Check them out online at GoTrosOnline.com. That's GoTro's Outdoor Power.
The Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office protects and serves over 132,000 residents across the parish.
Keeping our community safe is our mission, and Rev Fiber plays a critical role in how we respond. Whether it's training in our special divisions, forensics investigations, or fielding emergency calls in our operations center, Rev Business connects our teams in real time, which is why we partner with Rev Business.
Get 6 months free of Rev Business services. Call or click today.
Bayou Ford has 0% APR with no payments for 90 days and $1,000 down payment assistance on select 2026 Ford models.
Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
My name is Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right. This happens every once in a while with a segment. This is going to go like 7 different directions for 10 minutes, and then we'll talk to Sharif. One, I'm going through my Twitter feed attempting to find information because things happen very quickly in this time and place with these injunctions and court rulings and comments and commissioner statements and all that kind of stuff. And it's very difficult for me to find much of anything in the course of that break because a lot of the timeline has been flooded with the unfortunate and tragic news that Dolly Parton has passed away at the age of 80 years old. Lots of well wishes headed towards Dolly Parton from a lot of folks. Obviously, somebody that was very, very special across the country and around the world, but certainly here in the South. So that is dominating my Twitter timeline right now. Everybody's commentary and well wishes toward Dolly Parton's family as she's passed on. So that was one piece of information I did glean. Unfortunately, also, to add to that, Ja'Marr Chase got hurt today. The extent of that is not known at this point. There is video of it. Let me listen to everything I say before you like swerve your car off the road here. It didn't look very good. It was he was running a go route. It was one-on-one coverage. The ball got thrown up in the air, and he landed kind of awkwardly and then went to the ground and then grabbed his knee. But he got up and very, very, very gingerly walked off the field before any training staff got there. Again, I'm not at all suggesting I know what that injury was or was not, but he's been off to the side at Bengals practice, and it's not like they carted him off the field or anything, but you can see the route. You can see the run. It's not like gruesome to watch in that way, but he certainly got hurt running a route, and hopefully Ja'Marr is okay. He's got some time before that first game. He needs to miss a couple days of practice or whatnot. Hopefully he's just fine, but Ja'Marr Chase did go down and was off at the sidelines at Bengals camp. And then this is another direction I'm going to go here. We go from Dolly Parton to Ja'Marr Chase to me looking at people on Twitter. I really don't think I'm being some galactic homer here. I've given you my thoughts on this college to the NFL, back to college to the NBA, back to college stuff. And I've been consistent on it. And if you were listening an hour and 15 minutes ago, you heard me talk about it. If you weren't, you're catching me now as you head to the carpool line or whatever the case may be. My contention is if you leave of your own volition, you can't come back. If you don't, and you're forced out, and you want to come back for this 1 year to make everything simpatico with the guys before you and the guys after you, I'm good with that, with the 5 for 5. Here's an issue that I have here that I find to be maybe semantics with words. I'm a big words guy. I'm a writer. I use words to talk on the radio. But this line that I keep hearing from people that you can't go be a professional and then come back to college. You hear it a lot. You read it a lot. You see it a lot. You can't be a professional, go back to college. Well, what is the definition of professional? What does that mean? Because, like, you can certainly be a professional musician at 15, 16 years old. You can be a professional musician at 19 years old and earn a lot of money. If you want to suggest that professional is being paid to do something, I'm a professional member of the media. You are a professional contractor. You're a professional teacher. You're paid to do that. I'm paid to create content. You're paid to build shopping malls. You're paid to teach third graders. And you want to suggest that these collegiate athletes are not professionals because they're just paid for their name, image, and likeness. They're not paid for play. I guess we can run around that thing 150 times in semantics. But they are being compensated for their performance ultimately on the field. Jordan Seaton got a monster contract to come to LSU because he played awesome at Colorado. Same goes for Sam Leavitt. Trinidad Chambliss got a huge deal to remain at Ole Miss because he played awesome for Ole Miss last year. Cam Coleman got a huge deal to go from Auburn and transfer into Texas because he's an awesome football player. Not because he sells a lot of cars or iPads or whatever his NIL deal is. He's not some massive ambassador for Gatorade, and that's why he's getting a big deal. He's getting a big deal because he plays. So I struggle with that aspect. Is it just finances? Like, that part of it, I think I struggle with a little bit. I want to make it a little cleaner than that. If you leave and forego a year of eligibility in college, you can't come back. The pro thing doesn't bother me because I feel like they're pros anyway. They're rich anyway. That's not the glass door I'm looking at. But I do support it moving forward with players who sign contracts with the NFL, with the MLB, with the NBA. But you also have to consider this circumstance. And this goes back to the what I said at the beginning of the show. So if you were listening at 105, you're hearing something similar at 221, and I apologize for that, but it is the news of the day, and I'm reacting to people who are reacting to this news. And I'm not suggesting they're wrong. I just would like to have that conversation to suggest that I just don't think it's that black and white in this instance. Now, again, like I said an hour and 20 minutes ago, if they do come out, and they may be the NCAA, I feel like it's probably the conferences in this case, and Greg Sankey aligns himself with the Big Ten, aligns himself with the ACC, and they say, hey, look, here's the deal. If you have signed a contract with the NBA or the NFL, you are not eligible to come back to college football. And if that happens, I will get in this chair and I will say, okay, I support that decision. Let's move forward. I'm sorry to Daquan Wright. I'm sorry to Zxavian Harris. Like, you got dealt a bit of a crummy hand in that you were born, your first year of college was 2022, which did allow you to earn. My guys, Brandon Taylor, Marlon Favorite that I work with on pregame, Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn that I work with that guarantee, they were born at a time where you couldn't get any money to play in college football. Not legally. And these guys did get it legally, but they were shorted a year based on all the folks right in front of them and all the folks right behind them. They all got 5 years to earn. These guys only got 4. And that's a tough break, but it's a better break than earning for no years. 4 years is better than no years. So again, like I promise I don't want to sound like I'm flip-flopping. I do want to sound like I'm exploring every side of this story as opposed to just slamming my gavel on the ground and going, this is how it has to be. Because I push back on the fact that these guys are not professional athletes. They're signing contracts that have dollar amounts to them and playing sports. So if you're saying that that's the line, like they've already crossed it. They're already into the professional ranks. To me, So that's why I said you need to lawyer up if you're going to break a revenue sharing agreement. Like, I feel like I am walking the straight and narrow here. I am being consistent. I said Prince William Mielon and Devin Harper, if you sign a contract, I'm not going to say, well, taking advantage of these kids, Ole Miss made them sign the contract right before they played Georgia. They weren't in the right headspace to sign that contract. It's like, wait a second. These guys are being compensated 6 figures to play, and they have access to attorneys and often use them. Make sure you sign the contract properly. If there's something that you don't like, you negotiate it out. These guys can do that. That's why I think you're kind of in that realm right now. And I don't have that. I don't see Daquan Wright going through a training camp with the Browns as some sort of new realm he had walked into. He had been in a training camp with Ole Miss making 6 figures. He was in a training camp with the Browns making 6 figures. It's not that different to me. We grade that line when you said college athletes can be hired. Now, I do, and I said this yesterday, I do not want guys going into the NFL and coming back, moving forward, now that we have our rules set in place. But these rules weren't in place in December. They granted a 5 for 5 right after that. So it's just, I feel like there are layers to this that most people don't care to explore. And I want to explore them. Again, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying I'm being consistent in giving you my opinion. And I'm not going to trust the folks in College Station or Oxford to look at this rationally. And there will be plenty of people in Baton Rouge who don't look at it rationally either. If you're in College Station, LSU's evil, screw them. If you're in Oxford, LSU's Lane Kiffin's the worst guy ever. You can't play Daquan White. LSU should be kicked out of the SEC. I read that sizzling take on Twitter earlier this week. And if you're in Baton Rouge, you're going to say, these are the rules. Lane Kiffin's playing by the rules. Sorry, you don't like it? I don't care. And I'm not going to be exactly like any of those. I'm just going to explore it how I see it. I'm willing to accept whatever the ruling is that comes down, but I'm just not going to sit here and cast aspersions on these young men because I don't believe they've crossed over a realm that's all that significantly different. If you want to draw that black and white line there today and kick these guys out, I'll live, and they will too, and so will LSU. If you want to allow them their 5th year like everybody before them got and like everybody after them is going to get, I don't think that's the most unreasonable thing I've ever heard in the world. The basketball players are getting it. The baseball players are getting it. Football players can't get it just because their season starts. So they're victims, 1, of being born in the wrong year, 2, their sport being played at the wrong time of the calendar. That's a lot. That's a lot to throw against them. I think it's a little bit more nuanced than what a lot of people are willing to say. And that's my take on it. We'll talk some Saints to Sharif Ishaq when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing, LifetimeRoofingLA.com, LifetimeRoofingLA.com. Had that nasty weather that came through yesterday, right? If it just dumped on your house and you feel like, hadn't rained in a while, and now I feel like, there's got a leak here, might have some damage here. I'd like to get that looked at. Do it with a roofer you can trust, a roofer with roots right here in Baton Rouge, a roofer that's LSU owned and operated, and group that knows they're serving their community here in South Louisiana, doing the job they do. So if you want them to come out and inspect your roof, they'll do it. And if you need a repair, they'll do that. If you need a fortification, a tune-up on that roof, they can do that. And if you need a new roof, they can obviously do that, and they'll do it with a lifetime workmanship warranty that, one, backs that workmanship, but also the materials that are backed by Certainty, one of the oldest and most respected names in roofing. Check them out online, LifetimeRoofingLA.com. It's Lifetime Roofing. They're online at LifetimeRoofingLA.com.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that, and taking those relationships and expanding out into the community, just to make First American a household name. And people look at us and say, hey, what's special about you guys? You're part of a family.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
People ask why I chose to partner with Parrish. The answer is simple: trust. Whether you're choosing teammates, business partners, or the people working on your home or business, choose a company you know and trust. Visit parrishbuilt.com.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of The Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Tuesday's show is always brought to you by Immense Networks Cloud IT Management. They're online at immense.net. That's immense.net. Let's talk some Saints. Sharif Ishak, I think, back home in South Louisiana after a week out in sunny SoCal. Joins us now on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Sharif, how we doing?
I don't know. My head from the sun.
Well, we lost you there. You broke up. Your head is burned from the sun?
It's burned. So that's it.
Well, you're breaking up considerably, but hopefully it gets a little bit better. If not, we'll reconnect. But your biggest takeaway from the week out west, obviously the preseason game, we saw it. It was a disaster, but they also had 2 joint practices there. So what was your biggest takeaway from the time out in California?
Well, the injuries.
Yeah.
That's not great.
No.
I would say, let's start with the joint practices. I would say the Cowboys practiced the fights. I would say the Cowboys were out for something, out for like revenge from the beatdown the Saints put on them a few years ago. But it looks like they were out there ready to start fights. I'm not saying the Saints are they were not guilty. They were guilty of a few fights, but not like 8 of them. Like, I think the Saints started 2 of them of the 10. But the work in general, I thought the Saints offense looked fantastic in that practice. They were working the Cowboys defense. The first team offense was just crushing them up and down the field. Shuck did throw 1 interception, but outside of that, I thought the connection he had with Chris Olave, that continues to grow throughout all of training camp, just, shot up even more during that practice. I thought it looked really good. On the defensive side, man, it was tough. Man, it was tough for them against Dak Prescott. I mean, I was just sitting there watching both sides of the field, and I was like, man, the defense is struggling big time. They made a couple plays, but for the most part, I thought it was a struggle, and I hope that's not a bad sign to come. But at least from that practice, I thought the offense was good. Even the running game was good. After Kamara left practice, I thought Kendra and Devin Neal did a good job running the rock. The The Rams practice was an absolute disaster. I mean, I thought that like the Rams looked like the team that's going to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford was carving them up left and right. That's the practice where I got to sit there in the middle of both fields and see them perfectly, both sides of the ball, and I was like, man, the Rams are just on another level of amazing. They were just doing whatever they wanted. Now, Shuck started very slow, but once they got into red zone drills and goal to go, he was awesome. I thought that's the part that he accelerated at the best and excelled at the best was whenever he got in there and he was just picking apart the Rams defense. But I mean, that's tends to happen a lot more to defenses in the NFL whenever they do the red zone and goal to go drills. But I thought he got better in that situation, and then the game was just an absolute letdown. It was awful, man. It was awful because it looked like a team that practiced twice in 3 days in pads. It just looked sluggish. They looked tired. They looked sloppy. They got injured, lost a few more depth pieces. It was just bad, Hunt. I mean, it was bad to watch. It was bad on the eyes. It was, you could tell that Kellen Moore was unhappy with the 12 penalties. That's the thing I take away the most from that game was the penalties. I mean, some of those players aren't going to be on a roster, but there's some who are playing, to be the second, third person on the depth chart. It was sloppy. It was just a little too sloppy for me. They made Stetson Bennett look like an all-pro, and that should not have happened in that game.
All right, let's go to the positives because obviously we saw some of the negatives. Shuck, what did you see from him that you liked in terms of the rhythm they were able to get into in those joint practices? Clearly, didn't see him in the preseason games.
Look, I just love the way he gets that line and he checks and he unchecks a play. The way he can control that offense, the way he can control the line and communicate with the offensive line, his receivers, tight ends, and backs. I thought he did that really well. I think the communication is there. Just the way he gets rid of that ball whenever he's under pressure, the way he breaks the pocket and finds his receivers down the field, and backs down the field. I felt like you saw a lot of that, a lot of good when it comes to that. That's the one, one of many things I like. I truly love the command he has of this offense. Now they just have to stay healthy because if anybody goes down, it's going to be bad. But I truly think that's some of the positive I'd say. I just think the growth in this offense for Tyler has been leaps and bounds since he took over as a starting quarterback last November in LA against the Rams. So I expect that for him to be even sharper come week 1.
Did the offensive line hold up in against good defensive fronts?
I thought they did pretty decent for the most part. The Rams, they were different. This is without Myles Garrett and probably a soon-to-be Aaron Donald unretiring. I thought they did okay. Cesar Ruiz rolled up his ankle on one play. But for the most part, man, it just looked like they were a team that just practiced a couple days before that. They looked beat up from that Cowboys practice. Just look a little sluggish.
Okay.
It did carry over into that practice, and I just felt like that first team defense just dominated the first team offense. And it was what it was. I mean, I was not surprised because it's the Rams. They didn't hold the joint practice on Tuesday like the Saints did. But even if they didn't have a joint practice against the Cowboys, I feel like it would have been something close to that if the Saints were still well rested because that's the Rams, man.
Was there an aspect of the defense that was particularly concerning throughout the week?
I mean, cornerback number 2, they got to figure it out. Once Quincy Riley went out, it was like, who's going to step up? Who's going to step in? There were some passes just being launched down the field by both Dak and Matthew down on the opposite side of Kool-Aid. And I'm like, oof. I mean, man, it's a struggle. Isaac and struggle for Martin. I'm like, man, Yadam and Emerson. I mean, I thought Emerson played well for the most part, but I get it's Matthew Stafford, but man, they were just ripping and gripping and ripping the middle of the field down the sidelines. I was like, this is a well-oiled machine. I get it. But I only think I saw 2 passes hit the ground from Matthew Stafford all practice long.
That's a little bit concerning considering it's an entire practice. And yeah, Emerson was a busy guy in the preseason game on Saturday. They were targeting him quite a lot. Saints make a move at kicker, bringing Carlson. Do you expect him to be their guy?
Yep, I told you for so many weeks the kicker was not in the building and wasn't on the roster. And I think it's going to be Daniel Carlson because, man, Hunt, it's been ugly. Yep. I mean, the game ended about as ugly as it started with a 39-yard missed field goal by Tanner Brown. I'm telling you, man, you cannot wait to, sign a kicker. Do it now. Do it in the final week. See if, Daniel should be your kicker. I understand his percentage has been dipping since 2020, but I still think he's a better kicker than both guys on the roster. They just cannot afford to have a close game go the other way because of a kicker. So my thoughts are, I think it should be Daniel Carlson, and it's a better option for them. Guy who's been in the league for a while, has kicked in many different, venues. So to me, that's just my gut feeling. I would go with Daniel over Charlie and Tanner at this point because it's been a mess, man. It truly has been a mess.
Sharif Ishak is our guest, WDSU down in New Orleans, talking Saints. He was out there with them throughout the time in Southern California. Obviously, Saints make a move at running back. Go get Zamir White. You've obviously had a ton of injuries at that position outside of your starter, thankfully. What do you make of the situation at running back right now?
It's a mess, man. I mean, too many hamstring. And the whole team's dealing with, feels like a hamstring injury. 21, 22 guys are out of practice yesterday, and now you're looking at, at least Audric Estime came back, who I think should be on the 53-man roster. I think he did a good enough job to close out the season. I think he's like an old school back. So I think he should be one of the guys that grabs a roster spot. The irony of this whole thing is that Kendre Miller is the healthiest outside of Travis Etienne. And you just kind of want to bubble wrap him and not play him at all in this Cowboys game. I just can't risk it at this point because he's running at his best right now. So you got to keep 4 guys: Travis, Alvin when he comes back, Audric, and Kendre, and then you got to have 1 guy on the practice squad, I guess. But they need 4. At the way they're dropping now, I'm worried about how they drop during the season. Whenever it becomes really physical and you're going against real live action, so man, they need that depth there. They need productive depth behind.
So I'll ask this 2 ways. First, how would you handle this preseason game against the Cowboys? Second, how will Kellen Moore handle
it? Same way he handled that Rams game. I just cannot risk letting any of my starters play and maybe not letting any of my backups play. I might have to go 3rd and 4th teamers and let the kickers kick. Unfortunately, they didn't get a chance to kick last week because the offense couldn't move the ball close enough, or you had turnovers inside the 10. But I'm keeping it the same way I kept it, against the Rams, against the Jags. I cannot risk it. I'm sorry. I would like to see what my, 3s can do because I'm going to need to work on that depth. And I'm running the Zamir Whites out there. I'd love to see more of C.J. Donaldson at running back. I need to see who else can possibly provide that depth for my 53-man roster, or maybe practice squad. I'm sorry, Hunt. I know.
You think that's what he'll do?
Yeah, I think that's the smart thing to do. I mean, you had 3 very tough joint practices where you get your best work. I think he is not thinking, all right, let me throw Shuck in there in my starting offense just for 1 or 2 series and risk suffering an injury a couple weeks before the season kicks off. I'm like, why am I playing the Cowboys, a team who was just playing dirty at practice? Why am I even going to throw them out there and risk an injury that's going to cost me maybe a player for the season, or a good part of the season? So I think that's what that's what it sounds like he's going to do. That it feels like if they did it the first 2 weeks, they're going to do it the 3rd week.
All right, we shall see, Sharif. We appreciate the time.
See you next Tuesday.
That's Sharif Ishak, WDSU down in New Orleans, covering the black and gold. It's back to school time. You know it. We know it. The folks at Ochsner know it as well as family gets ready for back to school season. Ochsner Health is reminding parents success in the classroom starts with overall wellness. Nutrition plays a big role. So Ochsner recommends packing those lunches with proteins, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, getting kids involved in meal planning so those healthy choices are more appealing. Convenient access to primary and pediatric care can help families stay on top of annual wellness visits, immunizations, sports physicals, and routine health needs throughout the school year. If you're looking for more tips on helping your family start the school year healthy, safe, and ready to succeed, got one place to go, Ochsner.org/BR. That's Ochsner.org/BR. I appreciate y'all hanging out with us here on this Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. As I mentioned earlier this hour, if you want something to do this evening, love to see you at Court to Table, 8 o'clock for sports trivia. We'll certainly be there, have you out of there by about 9:15. So not a late night. You can eat great, drink great, and have some great food and win some gift cards as well. So come on out and see us at Court to Table at 8 o'clock tonight on Burbank. We'll step aside, come back, and close out the show next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com, HighlandIG.com, Jonathan Carbo and the Highland Insurance Group. They're awesome to work with. Property and Casualty, they can absolutely help you out, certainly get you ready for hurricane season with that property policy, making sure it is buttoned up. They also do a great job with group and employee benefits, and they know that's where a lot of people, a lot of businesses are finding a lot of pain at this point because you're trying to keep those employees insured. You want their health care, their dental, their vision to be what it needs to be, but you also know that's prohibitive in terms of cost. So if you need a second option, if you had a bad renewal or you're dreading the next renewal or you just want to talk to somebody about how to potentially affect the bottom line when it comes to group and employee benefits, talk to the Highland Insurance Group. They have had success moving South Louisiana companies to other healthcare providers and impacting the bottom line. So contact Jonathan Carbo and the Highland Insurance Group. They're online at highlandig.com. highlandig.com.
Are you ready for an internet experience that actually keeps up with you? Then you're ready to step into a new kind of reliability with Rev Fiber. When your internet works, the possibilities open up, and suddenly everything feels more connected, just the way it should be. Seamless enough to keep up with every swipe and every click, anywhere you are. So leave the buffering behind. 100% fiber, 0% runaround, where support is still personal. Rev Fiber. Visit revfiber.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that, and taking those relationships and expanding out into the community, just to make First American a household name. And people look at us and say, hey, what's special about you guys? You're part of a family.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Southern Classic Chicken, we take...
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Statement from the Big Ten Conference. They announced Tuesday the unanimous adoption of a conference rule to prohibit football players who have signed a professional contract, were on a professional roster at any point, or declared for the NFL draft as an underclassman without withdrawing from maintaining eligibility for athletic competition at a conference institution. The conference continues to evaluate potential rules restricting professional athletes in other sports from conference competition. So this is football players right now. We'll deal with the European basketball players at another point. I'm guessing that's what the suggestion is. Again, as I've said, I don't know how they enforce this rule if the court comes in and says you can't. And I don't know if the court can or will say you can't. That's the toughest thing for me personally in dissecting all this is understanding who's in charge and who can enforce something and who cannot. It appears that every time there is an enforceable rule, it comes back, the court says, well, you can't do that. It's not constitutional. So I don't know. I don't know if the commissioner and the presidents and the chancellors and the coaches have all determined we will not do this, I guess. And I don't know if something similar is coming from the SEC. The SEC statement last night was just a big nothing. Just like, well, we don't really like that. Want y'all to know we don't like it. And that's it. There's no rule put in place, no penalty put forth. So it's wild times. There's no question about that. But Big Ten has come out and saying they're not going to let you go to the NFL and come back to college sports. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, everybody's favorite LSU Tiger, well, former Tiger, is back in the news. So Sacramento Kings general manager Scott Perry is set to watch Ben Simmons go through a workout in Florida today. So Ben Simmons making an NBA return. Take it or leave it.
I will leave it. I don't think that's a good idea because he can't shoot.
Can't shoot. No, still can't.
Can't shoot.
I still think he's right-handed still to this day.
It's so interestingly with Simmons, and I'll talk about this like forever when talking about Ben Simmons. He was the number 1 pick in the draft. He played here. When he would drive in college, I didn't watch him really in the NBA, but when he would drive in college, he would favor the left hand on the drive. But when he went to finish around the rim, he always finished with the right. Yep. Always. Which is so odd. Yep. And then he shot left-handed. That's what a weird combo. It worked for him at LSU. That certainly didn't in the NBA, but like, geez.
And to do one better, he eats with his right hand too. So that just
what?
Yes. So he eats and writes with his right hand, but shoots the basketball with his left hand. So can't shoot and you're shooting with the hand, your non-dominant hand. That's a little fishy. It's a little.
Why?
Fishy. Yeah.
Do it the other way. It's not that hard. Just. I guess at this point you can't.
No, it's what it is. So Starbase Louisiana is now official. SpaceX will build a $100 billion spaceport in Vermilion Parish. The first launch will be in 2029. So SpaceX to Louisiana. Take it or leave it.
I don't know anything about SpaceX.
Neither.
I don't know anything about $100 billion.
$100 billion, Elon Musk.
That sounds like a lot.
It
sounds
jobs,
good to
maybe?
me. Yeah, good. Get jobs, money. We'll take it. I don't. If someone wants to come and give me the reasons why it's a bad thing, I'll certainly listen. Well, I probably won't listen, honestly. I don't really care. I don't really care what SpaceX does. I'm not going to go there. I'm certainly not going to work there.
Yeah.
If it's good for the economy of the state, great. Have at it. I don't know anything about SpaceX.
All right, so Vanderbilt has named senior Blaze Berlowitz its starting quarterback, who's starting over the highest rated recruit in Vanderbilt history, freshman quarterback Jared Curtis. So Vanderbilt taking along the freshman quarterback slowly. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. I'm not ready to completely hand over the keys here to Clark Lee as a consistent 8, 9, 10 win team at Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Diego Pavia was very good. They tailored that offense to him under Tim Beck, and it was great. They schooled Blake Baker last year, no doubt. Can you keep doing it at Vanderbilt? Like, I know that they've got NIL stuff in place now. They've rallied the troops. They obviously have donors with a ton of money. It's Vanderbilt. So I don't anticipate they're going to routinely go 2-10 like they have most of my life. But would it surprise me if they went 5-7 this year? Probably not. Like, I'm not telling you I'm going to see it, but I'm suggesting it's very possible that Vanderbilt takes a significant step back without a quarterback who, while annoying and undersized and not a professional in any way, was quite good.
Yeah, Pavia. That's the one thing about college football. You're always going to get a guy like Pavia, Johnny Manziel. That just rubs everybody the wrong way. Just
good player.
Good player, but you hate when you play against him. So this, finally, last but not least, KFC and Oreos are reversing their bizarre fried chicken cookie crossover with a new burger featuring Oreo-style buns, mashed potatoes covered in crushed cookies, and a fried chicken fillet. The Oreo original recipe chicken burger reportedly features a fried chicken thigh fillet and mashed potatoes covered in, crushed Oreo pieces, everything between two black Oreo-flavored buns designed to resemble the cookie wafers. despite it looking like cookies, it's still bread. It's just, black like a Oreo.
Right.
So Oreos and KFC combo, take it or leave it.
I'll take it.
Oh, okay.
I'll try it. I'll try it. It's chocolate. It's fried chicken. It's mashed potatoes. I never tried anything like that. I'll try it. I mean, it might not be good, but I will try that. There are some things I look at and go, I'll never try that.
Yes.
This is not one of those things. It's not, I mean, it would be one thing if it was cookies on the outside.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be probably a little bit too much. But
Little
since it's
too
just
much.
bread, but it's black like the Oreos.
Yeah.
I'm in. I probably will never have one.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to
search for
wake
it.
up on a Sunday and be like, all right, what am I having for lunch today? Oh, I want that KFC Oreo chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
If someone brought it here, I would eat
try it. You'll
I would
try
eat
it?
it, but I'm not going to get it.
Okay. Before we wrap up, you eating it dry? Any type of sauce with it? Just dry? You kind of got to eat it dry, right?
I think, there's got to be a little bit of moisture in the mashed potatoes.
Yeah, mashed potatoes with the Oreos crumble bits.
Yeah, I think that's got to be it.
No ketchup, no nothing. You can't throw
No,
nothing.
I can't put ketchup with cookies.
Yeah, you can't do
There's
that.
cookies chopped in the mashed potatoes. You know what? I'll say it. I bet it's pretty good.
Okay.
I bet it's pretty good.
Okay, you know what? That's a double I take it. That's a double I take
double
it. So that's out of here for take it or leave it.
All right. Oreo chicken sandwich. I don't know. If I'm getting a chicken sandwich, it's going to be from Popeyes.
Yeah.
So that's just
Chick-fil-A? Hold on now. Don't, hey.
Oh, Chick-fil-A came out with their chicken and waffles
Yeah,
breakfast.
remember we talked about that?
Now that I will actually get.
Oh, it's
I will
on the
actually
list.
eat that.
It's on the list, huh? You know
They
it's
got
on the
syrup.
list.
Yeah, I'll eat that. I mean, I would rather have sausage, egg, and cheese. That's my breakfast. But the chicken and waffles, that'll play. And my kids will eat chicken and waffles. They'll eat chicken and waffles. So it's rare when you can find something the kids will eat. So we'll take that. All right, that's it for us here on this Tuesday. If you missed any of the show, catch it on demand. Talked a lot of court injunctions, talked some basketball lineup, talked some football lineup, actually talked some Saints as well. Find that at Hunt on Saints. I'm out of here. Matt's going to drive you home next on After Further Review. We're back tomorrow, same time, same place. JD Pickell with us. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is that website. David Vaughn and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. If you've got a bathtub you don't use, maybe it's one of those that was built in the 90s that has all those big jacuzzis that maybe aren't functional anymore, or you never get in them, or it's old and dingy, or maybe it's just not functional, but it's one of those big sizable bathtubs. Or maybe you shower in a bathtub every day and you never use the bathtub, to take a bath. Is it taking up a lot of space? Would a glass walk-in shower better suit your bathroom? Do the tub-to-shower conversion. David Vaughn and his team do this all the time. It can be done oftentimes in 3 to 5 days. Tub-to-shower conversion. It's their bread and butter. So if you want to take out that tub, put in a gorgeous glass walk-in shower, change the aesthetic of your bathroom, change the functionality of your bathroom, add some value to your home, it's One Bath and Closets. Get that free consultation today and talk to David. He's been at it for 30 years. It's One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com.